there's a big question. Why is someone from Egypt, which is on the continent of Africa, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, why
North Africa?
Yes,
they're considered white.
Those are considered white in the census.
So if you're black and you have origins in North Africa, are you white?
You are white according to the U.S. government.
No, that's not what they mean.
Did you just read what White said?
Yeah, it's a
read
white
it again.
person having origins in North Africa.
Don't talk to me. Talk to the mic.
A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa.
That's
but they
right.
have to be white. And they have
if your
origins
origin, so if you are the color of me when I don't have my color, and you were born in Egypt, you are under the category of white. You're not reading.
No, that's not what it meant.
It said it clear. Okay, I'm not gonna argue.
So you're telling me if you're from North Africa and you're black, you're white?
Didn't it just say that?
But that's not what it
meant.
Read it
again. Read it again.
It says a person have a white. It says a white person is a person having origins in any original peoples of Europe,
right,
the Middle East, or North Africa.
There you go.
But they have to be white.
No,
they
it just says you just have your origin there. That's what it says. And if you look at that, see, first of all, I don't know why, we're getting into the semantic discussion because this is but it's someone else, in this case, the United States government, making the definition of what your category is based on whatever their statistical need is. Mm-hmm. So when we go over this and talk about the census and who is considered white, black, and otherwise, right? So any Arab is considered white according to the census. Anybody born in North Africa, which could be very much Arab people probably, or people of Muslims or whatever, they're considered white according to the U.S. government. And then they just lump all the people who are white, an Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, all of those people are Asians. Who is to make that determination? When you look at Indians, I think they're just a whole other crew of people. But because these people, the Europeans or people of European descent, have divided up the world and said that's Asia and that's Europe. If you're in Turkey and you go from one side of Istanbul to the other, you cross over the strait, the Bosphorus Strait, and it says welcome to Europe. You go in the other direction, it says welcome to Asia, but it's one city. So they've divided up the world and said, that's Asia over there. They came up with this idea of the Middle East. These are all designations that they have made. Right? But if you are in Turkey and you're dealing with Turks, they're neither white nor Arab. They're just something else. Everyone gets their whole ethnicity taken away. Why are the Indians, the dark Indians, why are they not considered black? How do they get to be Asian? Where does that come from? So, these things are just, but again, how do you, or you're white, but you're not Hispanic, but if you're Hispanic, or you speak Spanish, and you're white, let's say if you're from Spain, are you Hispanic now, or are you something else? But if your origin is so, when you, again, critical thinking, you're looking at this like this doesn't make sense, and you just recognize it for what it is. It doesn't necessarily make sense. Now, I asked this question, we were talking about this, and somebody said, well, because the population of white people is declining, they're going to have to add more people in. So, so then we're going to try, they're just going to throw up, say we're Arabs, we're going to put them in and say that they're white.
Arabs in so
yes, we're going to, but, there's a lot
of Arabs, so we're going to throw them in.
And you look at the Arabs, you're like, did you know that you were white? And they're like, I didn't know that we don't get treated like white people.
Look at the people for the people from North Africa. Yo, you're white, right?
It's a divisive thing.
When you go to America, you're white, right? You might be black in North Africa, man, but you go to America, yo, brother, you white.
You got it down. You're going to be one of them, or you'll be with us, man, So they think that, because they, maybe their population is declining. There's, again, there's this coming minority majority or majority minority. And they, the statistics all demographers point out that, by 2050, the majority of people in the United States will not be white. If they put all of the minorities together, so-called minorities, but in that minority, us being an African, Black, Negro Americans being about 13%. Our numbers don't rise. The Hispanic numbers raise up.
So sorry for deviating. Let me finish this because this is a great article. Third, there are statistics, the realities. Black children are more likely to be disciplined more frequently and more harshly than their white peers. Black children who go missing are less likely to make local or national news than white children and adults who go missing. Thus, the existence of the Black and Missing program. Black children are grossly absent from media, such as in movies and in books. And when black characters are present, they are often relegated to the roles of villains or sassy, street-smart individual. Finally, and perhaps most disheartening and damaging, is the dismissal. One morning at the beginning of a new school year, I stood outside the doors of my daughter's preschool waiting. As student pours out, one little boy ran into his mother's arms and exclaimed in excitement, "There are brown kids in my class, Mom." His mother shushed loudly, her eyes darting around to see who had observed the situation. She didn't realize that I, the woman standing next to her, was one of the brown kids' parents. The mom sent the child a powerful message. Difference shouldn't be discussed, nor should it be celebrated. We experienced several other similar situations. Watching my children encounter racism, judgment, and discrimination solely based on their skin color has blossomed and fosters a deep empathy in me for people of color. Their battle is constant. Constant. They cannot go a single day without someone, be it a stranger, a co-worker, a reporter, or even a dear friend or family member, treat them in a less than manner. The combination of these experiences is exhausting and infuriating. And I'm going to raise a point on that for you. Black people have every right to be angry, like Rosa Parks expressed when she refused to give up a seat to a white man. They are tired of being tired. And I say this to people. I say this to my friend. We had an argument. Those black kids in Baltimore should not burn down their community. They should not. That is the last thing that they should do.
Somebody, this is you. No. This is you speaking. Your friend said this.
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying this to my friend. But I say, you know what? There comes a time when you need a revolution. And in revolution, there is what we call
bloodshed. No,
you call it an accessory to the revolution, right? Just like you have an accessory to a crime. Like if you drive in your car and you have your friend in the back seat and you don't know your friend have weed, and police pull you over and find the weed, there's a great possibility that they're going to take you down with them, right? However, you're going to learn a big lesson from that the next time you put a friend in the back of your car, you may want to check to make, yo, you got any weed, man? You got any cannabis in the back there?
No.
You got any Sensimania?
Please don't talk. Answer me on nothing about that. Go ahead.
You got any ganja weed in the back there?
You sound clownish. So, go ahead.
What happened in Baltimore? Send a message that those kids were tired of being arrested, tired of being pulled over, tired of being put in that van, and the van brutalizing them, just as how this guy died. Because the police used them like cattle. They herd them into that van, drive them around on these humps, and brutalize them. And then you know what they say? Man, it happened when he was in the hump. As a matter of fact, there is a story here about these guys in Baltimore, or who's that? When they get in the van, they tell you what the police do to them when they get in the van to transport them to the police station, right? And it's not nice. So what I'm saying that what happened in Baltimore, it's sad that I'm not saying that they should burn down their communities. They should not do that. But sometimes, in tough times, drastic measures need to happen to send an example. CVS said they're going to rebuild. They're going to rebuild. And I think all of the people in those communities, they're going to rebuild. But it's sending a message slowly and slowly and slowly that we are tired of being tired.
Well, I want to look up, what did Martin Luther King have to say about riots? I mean, he has a great quote about that.
I'll
but the, I don't know, the problem, I wanted to talk about this days ago because it's not hot anymore, but it's always hot because it seems to be an interesting time period we're living in, and it's the season for rebellion. And as we were speaking to the Solomon debate people yesterday, that there definitely needs to be, enough people out there to articulate what the needs of people are. What the media does, what we do, all of us old-timers, is revert back to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And those guys are gone, and there's a new group of people.
No.
Did you see that video with the guy and confronting, what's his name? Geraldo Rivera. Did you see that video?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, you saw the full video.
No, I didn't see the full video.
You see the full video. It's on Media Matters.
Let's quickly listen to the Baltimore Police Commissioner.
Okay.
Let's hear what he had to say. Because this is interesting in that, some of these individuals are now starting to face up to the reality of some of the things that are happening to these kids of color in the community, and they're starting to they need to stop whitewashing these type of things when it happens, so we're trying to get this up.
What's up?
I mean, when you're doing this, they always give you a commercial, so we're going for a small commercial. And coming up is the Baltimore Police Commissioner. Confessions to CNN about his department transgressions. Very rarely do you see a commissioner of police admitting that there are transgressions in his department. And whenever you want it to play, it's taking its time. But we should be with you very shortly. Here we go. I think this is it. This should be it. Here we go.
I think that the state's attorney was very focused on being independent in this particular investigation. She didn't want to be seen connected to the police organization. So the communication was limited as compared to what I'm used to.
And Evan, you asked the police commissioner if he thought that Freddie Gray case set his department back. What did he tell you?
Well, Wolf, he's been working at this for now a couple of years, and there's no doubt that has happened. Here's how he describes what he sees as the problem he's facing right now.
There is a lack of trust within this community, period, bottom line, and that's going to take healing. That's going to take us acknowledging as a police department, not just here in Baltimore, but law enforcement as a whole, that we've been part of the problem. Out of trying to be part of the solution, we have become part of the problem, and when we acknowledge that and understand, we can start to heal. The community needs to hear that. Community needs to hear from us that we see that we haven't been part of the solution and that we have to now evolve.
That's the police commissioner in Baltimore.
Well, I'm glad somebody's coming out because the city commissioner in New York never said that they have to evolve. In fact, they ended up turning their back on the mayor. So there's hope.
No. Dr. Phil even got in on this on this action here too as well. But you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for the one regarding the kids in Baltimore. There was one with the guys talking about in Baltimore. Let me see if I get that real quick.
So the Baltimore police And people, it's interesting that because people, I guess, after a while, a number of people, I can't seem to finish any thought because I get flooded with these thoughts. But